Just before commenting on the book, which I'm delighted to do, I just want to send out a health warning about Anne Connolly's invitation to go into the sea in the morning. When Anne Connolly invites you out for a Sunday walk, it means going up Lugnaquilla and coming back a broken man. And I was winding myself up to go out to this 8 o'clock trip out to the beach until I was reminded last night of a Billy Connolly story. Billy Connolly said he was up in Scotland in a grey day with the drizzle coming down, and he was running into the sea. And as he was approaching the water, the fishes were all coming out and saying, "Don't go in there, for God's sake, it's fucking freezing." So that's what you're letting yourself in for if you go out there tomorrow morning and join these other lunatics. I've made my living going in and out of companies for over 30 years. And for probably 20 years or longer, to talk about values was seen as corny. Nobody was really interested in values. The real businessmen weren't in values. Well, if you go in and visit Intel, the first thing they'll tell you is we have a technology and a culture. In other words, a shared set of values. Values are taken very seriously in the hard-nosed commercial world. I want to endorse very much the spirit and intent of this book in focusing in on values. In my presentation the other night, I quoted some of the final words of Gareth Fitzgerald, where he said that the root cause, the common factor in our failures, was a betrayal of a set of values. Averil Power, talking about the collapse of Fianna Fáil, said it was the betrayal, a breach of ethics, loss of moral compass, a betrayal of a set of values. That's what done it for them. And Mary Robinson, commenting on Gareth Fitzgerald, said, as we try to rebuild our society, we need to pay attention to values. Now, for me, values find expression in concrete things. For example, and I'll only focus on one, for instance, Brian mentioned the importance of leadership. One of the things that reveals your values is what you measure. So, for example, we know that when we tried to find out something as serious as how many children are dying in state care, we didn't have a measurement of it. It wasn't measured. Nobody actually ever added it up. So I have a concept. If you think of a Celtic cross with 5 elements in it, north, south, east and west, I think there are 5 things that we have to measure. One is GDP, GNP, per capita income. That's the economy. That's the economy. And every year there's a set piece on budget day where the Minister for Finance goes in with his wife and kids in tow and tells us what the budget is and how we're doing well as an economy. And for years that one-dimensional view of how successful we are told us we're the second wealthiest country in the world. Enjoy it. That one-dimensional view has got to be complemented with 4 other measures. One is a measure of the health of the wealth creation engine. That we had a false view of that with the building boom. The third element, the bottom of the cross, is the quality of infrastructure. And the fourth element, the left hand, if you like, of the cross, is social justice and quality of life. So all of those create a balance, and they're all interdependent. And if you look at it that way, the left and right polarization of social justice and quality of life on the one hand, and business and wealth on the other, that juxtaposition is redundant. We now know how interdependent they are. Business cannot survive when you have 450,000 people unemployed, for example. And in the middle of the cross is an ethical, accountable public service and government. So the concrete expression of the values that I think would help to drive the agenda that Mary and Peadar are talking about is in fact a requirement that instead of an annual budget day, which only comments on one of those measures, we have an annual accounting for Irish Society Day, or 2 days, where we give an account of stewardship on all 5 elements. Then we know how we're doing and not get carried away with the one-dimensional view. Thanks very much.